What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing the NFC playoffs, the current standings, the 1 through 7, and today we're going to be focusing on the Washington Commanders, a team that is hot right now, led by Taylor Heinicke, 6-1 in their past 7 games, and with 5 games remaining, this team could make it to the Super Bowl. Let's figure out how on Glad Sports. Alright, so let's jump into it. With 5 games remaining, the Washington Commanders have 2 games against the Giants. They have a game against the Dallas Cowboys, and that's going to end their divisional games, but they have 2 other games within this 5-game stretch, and that is the San Francisco 49ers and the Cleveland Browns. Now, they don't necessarily have to win out in order to make it to the playoffs. Right now, sitting in the 7th seed, they are 1 game above the Seattle Seahawks, who lost to the Las Vegas Raiders this past weekend. That pushed the Commanders into that 7th spot and allowed them a playoff berth for right now. These 2 games against the Giants are actually a big challenge for this team. Winning against your divisional rivals twice in a season is a hard feat to accomplish, let alone within 3 weeks. The Commanders play the Giants twice in a row after a bye week in between, and that might give them the chance to make some adjustments, or as well the Giants to make some adjustments against the Commanders in the following game. The concerning game on their schedule for me is the San Francisco 49ers. That team has been playing very well with Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and the offensive weaponry that they have, but as well the defense of the 49ers is something that's going to completely shut down Taylor Heinicke. Even with Jimmy G behind center, they're still going to be a successful team. So I do have them losing that game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the current standings as they see fit within each division. In the East, you've got the best record by far of all of them, with the Eagles obviously with only 1 loss, the Cowboys at 8-3, and then both teams with 7 wins at the lower part of their division. That's going to be the best division in the league. But because the other divisions are a little bit worse, especially the South, we are looking at a way for this Commanders team to completely hold on to their playoff spot the entire time. The only other team right now with a record that could potentially get themselves into the playoffs that is close with that is the Seattle Seahawks at 1 game behind and a 6-5 record. So if the playoffs started today, what would the Commanders' path look like? Well, currently, they'd be lined up against the number 2 seed in the Minnesota Vikings. That team has had a 9-2 record and has been able to beat teams such as the Bills this season. So if the Commanders were able to win that game, which I believe they fully could, that's a team they lost to by 3 points this year within the middle of their hot streak. And the Minnesota Vikings haven't really proven to me that they are one of the top dogs in the NFL yet, as their strength of schedule has been a little bit weaker than most. Now with the other games that line up in this playoff series, we would have the 49ers playing the Giants and the Bucks playing the Cowboys. Now my prediction on this is that the Cowboys and the 49ers come out victorious in the wild card round, which would put them in a divisional game against each other and would line up the Commanders to play against the Eagles as the first seed in it. If the Commanders were to move on as the 7th seed in the playoffs, they would automatically play the first round bye team, as the 1 seed will play the lowest seed. This means that as of right now, the only way for the Commanders to get to the Super Bowl would be through the 1 seed at home against Philadelphia right now. So if they were able to overtake the number 1 seed Eagles in Philadelphia, who would they play up against? Well, my prediction would be that the Cowboys would actually outwit the 49ers this year. I would like to see not the 49ers in the NFC Championship for the first time in 3 years, but the Cowboys might be that team that would do that. In my opinion, this actually gives the Commanders the best shot at making the Super Bowl. I have to say, it would be super weird seeing the Washington Commanders against the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship, but who knows? This NFL allows for anything to happen, and new stuff always seems to come about, especially when it comes down to crunch time. Now, both of these coaches, Ron Rivera for the Commanders and Mike McCarthy for the Cowboys, both have been to the big show. They've been to each of these, the Super Bowl and the NFC AFC Championship. So with that experience, I can't necessarily give it a nod to the coach, but for the purpose of the video, I want to push the Commanders through. I would see the Commanders, who already beat the Cowboys this year, to do it again and go to the Super Bowl with Taylor Heinicke as their quarterback. Now, just for shits and gigs here, I'm going to go ahead and go through the AFC to see who would give them the best possibility of potentially winning the Super Bowl. Well, I love the Dolphins as the number 2 seed here, so let's just go ahead and push them through. They'd be playing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, as you can see there, but we're going to push them through and have the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl. What a weird Super Bowl that would be. The Commanders versus the Dolphins. Here's the thing about the NFL. Anything can happen. I know this may seem crazy to you looking at this video, seeing me put the Dolphins against the Commanders in the Super Bowl. But again, anything can happen. Teams like the Chiefs, the Bills, both of those teams have lost previously going into the big game. Last year, the Bengals were the team that nobody would have guessed in week 4 were going to the Super Bowl. That's the same with the Commanders this year. They could be the Bengals of last year. And I would be really happy and really stoked to see it, especially from the NFC, because the NFC this year has been really just a wash. The NFC East is the only division that's looking any sort of good. And the rest of those divisions, like the NFC South, is really just fallen off. So because of that, that's the end of the video, guys. I enjoyed putting the Commanders in the Super Bowl. I would love to do this. I'm going to continue to do this for more teams. Please comment down below which team I should do next, how they could get to the Super Bowl, and what their path would be like. But please like, subscribe, and continue to watch these videos as I continue to post them. We're going to be doing a college football one. We're going to be doing against the spread. We're going to be doing playoffs in the worst teams in the season. So please like, subscribe if you would love to see those videos, and comment down below which teams you think I should do next. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day.